Well, now we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is speaker. So under Indian polity, now we are going to discuss about the position of speaker and what are the powers and duties of speaker. It's very important to know about speaker. Why? Because there are so many questions asked regarding speaker in many examinations. So let's begin the class. Basically, who is a speaker? He is the presiding officer. Basically, the presiding officer of either houses of parliament is called speaker. So, from Article 93 to 96, there are some provisions which are telling us the most important things regarding speaker of a particular house. So, basically, the speaker is the presiding officer of the house, and in Lok Sabha there will be a speaker, and he or she will be assisted by a deputy speaker, and there will be a panel of other chairpersons too. And in Rajya Sabha there will be a chairman and a deputy chairman and a panel of vice chairpersons also. So this is basically the system of having a speaker in either house of the parliament. So this is how the position of speaker is created in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. According to Article 93, it is mentioned in Article 93 that there is a position of speaker in our parliament, and what are the functions of having that particular speaker, and what is the importance of that speaker, and what are the various powers given to him. All these things are mentioned from Article 93 to Article 96. Remember these articles. The next important one is, for the first time in India in the year 1921, a position of speaker was created. Okay, the position of speaker was created. That's very important. That so it's a fact that in 1921, for the first time in India, the position of speaker was created. But at the time, the speaker was called chairman. Earlier, he was called chairman, but after 1935, the word chairman was replaced with the word speaker. So from that day onwards, we are calling the chairman as the speaker. The next important issue is that the Constituent Assembly has abolished the office of Speaker from 9th December to 9th December 1946 to 14th November 1947. So it's quite interesting that the office of Speaker was abolished from 9th December 1946 to 14th November 1947. Why? Why it so happened? Why? Because during this particular time period, the Constituent Assembly was busy in framing a constitution for the new independent India. So when constitution was being drafted at that time, we can't have any presiding officer or some other person like that. So Constituent Assembly wanted to draft a particular and perfect constitution for our country. And as per the constitution, different offices will be created, and different positions like speaker and so will be created. So after creating the constitution, we will decide whether there will be a speaker or not in the House of Representatives. Okay, so that's what the basic idea was. So that's why the Constituent Assembly has abolished the office of speaker. Okay, the next one. So, from the year 1946 to 1949, the Constituent Assembly acted as the legislature. So, remember this fact that from the year 1946 to the year 1949, there was no legislature as such. But in the place of legislature, there was Constituent Assembly, which was just carrying on all the functions as that of a legislature. Why? Because the activity or the process of drafting a constitution was taking place. So after the constitution was drafted and it was decided that we'll be having a speaker as per our constitution. So there will be a speaker in Lok Sabha and there will be a speaker in Rajya Sabha. The speaker in Lok Sabha is called speaker, and the speaker in Rajya Sabha will be called the chairperson. So the first speaker of Lok Sabha in the independent India is G.V. Mavalankar. In so many questions, so many examinations, so many questions were asked in different ways that who is the first speaker of Indian Lok Sabha, that is G.V. Mavalankar. Okay. The next, coming to the election of speaker, basically speaker is elected by the members of Lok Sabha among themselves only. Remember, now we are speaking about the Speaker of Lok Sabha only, okay, not Rajya Sabha. We will discuss about the Speaker of Rajya Sabha later, who is also called the chairperson. Okay, now we are discussing about the Speaker of Lok Sabha only. So basically, the Speaker of Lok Sabha is elected by the members of Lok Sabha among themselves only, but on the basis of majority. Okay, on the basis of majority, the Speaker is elected among themselves. Among themselves means the members of Lok Sabha only. And to become the Speaker of Lok Sabha, that particular person must be a member of Lok Sabha. That means it is quite clear that if a person wants to be a Speaker of Lok Sabha, then first thing he should be a member of Lok Sabha. And when he is a member of Lok Sabha, that means he or she should possess all the qualities or all the eligibility conditions which a member of Lok Sabha should have. Okay, and what are those qualifications? That he should be having a sound mind and sound personality, and such kind of many things are there. You people know, I don't need to explain all those things. Okay. Then coming to the term of office of speaker, basically he will be in the office of, he or she will be in the office of speaker for the term of 5 years. So you have to remember this point, that for the term of 5 years he will be in that office. But here is a fact that even after the completion of 5 years, if the next speaker or the new speaker is not available till that particular time, the same speaker will continue in this position. That means he or she will be continuing to be in the position till the next speaker steps in. Okay. Then one more fact is that basically speaker is the member of Lok Sabha. So when Lok Sabha is dissolved, that means the position of speaker is also dissolved. Is that the case? No, it's not the case. The fact is that you have to remember this point. It's very much important that when Lok Sabha is dissolved, even when Lok Sabha is dissolved, the position of speaker is not dissolved. Okay, the speaker continues to be in his office till newly elected Lok Sabha is constituted and a new speaker is elected. Okay, remember this point. It's very, very, very important. Okay, then let's move on to the next point. Then now we have to discuss about the removal of speaker. Basically, according to Article 94 Clause C, there are some provisions which are stating about the process of removal of speaker. Basically, speaker and deputy speaker may resign by writing to each other. That's how there comes a situation where there is vacancy of seat, that is vacancy of the position of speaker. But how they will be removed? So as per Article 94 Clause C, they can be removed by a resolution that is passed by effective majority after giving 14 days of prior notice. So here what you need to remember is that resolution which has to be passed, and that to be passed with effective majority and after giving 14 days of prior notice. Okay, so these three are important terms, remembering which you can easily remember that the process through which speaker is removed. And when such a notice is in consideration against the speaker, then he or she, means whoever person is the speaker, he cannot preside over the proceedings of the house. Remember this point, that he cannot preside over the proceedings of the house when there is a resolution against him. But there is one exception, that even he is not presiding over the proceedings of the house, but he can participate in the proceedings of the house and can even vote in the first instance. What is this thing that he can vote in the first instance, but what is the thing that he is not eligible to vote when there is an equality of votes? You people may not understand this. I will explain it. What actually happens is that basically the speaker cannot preside over the position of the speaker when a resolution is passed against him. So at that time he can just participate in the proceedings of the house. And when there is voting regarding a particular issue, then he can vote in that particular thing. In first instance he can vote, but later when there is a situation that when there is a tie between the voting for a particular bill, at that particular time the speaker cannot vote. That's what it is mentioned here, that for in the first instance she can vote, but when there is a situation like this, there is a tie between the house members, that whether a bill has to be passed or not, at that particular time the casting vote cannot be casted by the speaker. That is here mentioned that she cannot vote when there is an equality of votes. Okay, then coming to the salary and allowances of the speaker, basically the salary and allowances of the speaker are decided by the parliament itself, and it is mentioned in the second schedule also. And at present the salary of the speaker is 1,25,000 rupees, and after retirement speaker will be getting pension and some other emoluments. We don't need to discuss other emoluments. Then all these whether it is pension or the other emoluments or the salary, all those things are charged on contingency fund of India. Okay, then the salary cannot be subjected to change to that of their advantage. That means the provision is that 1,25,000 of salary has to be given to the speaker. But when speaker came means speaker is holding his or her office, at that particular time the parliament cannot make any legislation so as to reduce the income, or so as to reduce the pension benefits or other emoluments. So no such parliamentary act can be made towards the disadvantagement of such a speaker who is in office. But after the when such a legislation is passed, that is applicable only to the next or the upcoming speakers, not to the present speaker. Okay, the next one, what are the powers and functions of speaker? It's quite interesting and it's quite easy also. Basically, the Speaker of Lok Sabha possesses more power than that of the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. That means the Speaker of Lok Sabha is having more powers than that of the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Remember this point. Then whenever there is an emergency, then according to Article 108, there will be a joint sitting. Emergency means whenever there is a bill which is not being passed between by both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and when there is a deadlock between both the houses, then at that particular time, according to Article 108, a joint sitting is being conducted, and that particular joint sitting is presided over by the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Remember this point. Okay, and whenever there is a money bill transferred from Lok Sabha to Rajya Sabha, the power to certify whether that particular bill is a money bill or not, that particular power is given to speaker, and his decision that whether a bill is a money bill or not is final. No one can question and no one can say that the decision taken by speaker is wrong, it is not money bill. So this the decision of speaker is final here, that whether a bill is money bill or not. Okay, then his permission is compulsory on question of bringing adjournment motions. So the adjournment motion which has to be passed only in Lok Sabha. So to pass a adjournment motion in Lok Sabha, the permission of speaker is compulsory. Only when you need to pass a adjournment motion in Lok Sabha, then permission is compulsory. The next important thing is that adjournment of business of the house for the purpose of discussing a definite matter of urgent public importance. So before a person want to discuss about a urgent public importance, at that particular time, that particular member of Lok Sabha should take the permission of speaker. Then the appointment of primary committees is under the hands of Speaker of Lok Sabha only. So he or she will be appointing the primary committees, and he or she will himself or herself will be the ex officio chairperson of certain committees of the parliaments also. And the speaker conduct in regulating the procedure of maintaining order in house is not subjected to jurisdiction of court. That means so as to maintain the order in Lok Sabha or sessions, she or he who is holding the office of speaker may take some disciplinary actions among the members of Lok Sabha. But when such an action is taken by the speaker, then such actions are not subjected to jurisdiction of the court. That means such actions cannot be challenged in court. That means there is no jurisdiction of court in such activities of speaker. And under Anti-Defection Act, the authority of speaker is final, though open to judicial review. That means whenever there are some Lok Sabha members who are Ayaram and Gayaram type of people. IRM and Gayaram of people means a person who is coming into our party, that is IRM, and again he is jumping to other party, that is Gayaram, so as to gain the benefits of the elections and all other things. So when such a kind of people are there, so as per some schedule which is mentioning about the anti-defection law, so as per that anti-defection law, whether a particular member is ineligible to become to continue as the member of a parliament or not, all these things are decided by the speaker only. So when speaker is deciding about whether a person is eligible or not under anti-defection law, then speaker's decision is final. So no one can say that no one can go against the decision of speaker. But still there is a chance that when speaker have said that a particular person is not eligible to continue as a member of parliament, then that particular person may go for judicial review. That's a different story. Okay, the next one. Then the voting process, the discussions, and even the process of passing resolutions, etc., etc. All these things which are going on in Lok Sabha, all these things are controlled by speaker itself. And speaker acts as the representative of Lok Sabha. That's very important thing. So speaker acts as the representative of Lok Sabha. That's very important thing. You need to remember this one. And he or she preserves the dignity of the house. So as to preserve the dignity of the house, speaker can take some disciplinary actions against any member of Lok Sabha. For example, there are a few representatives of people in the house and who belong to the same party, and they don't want a particular bill to be passed, and they want to trouble the government, so as to hinder their attempts to pass a particular bill. They are creating lots of disturbances, and they are creating hurdles for the ongoing business of Lok Sabha. Then at that particular time, what speaker will say is that just throw those people out of this house, and they are dismissed for such and such period. That kind of order may be given by speaker, and the court martials, what will they do? They'll just push all the people out of the session. So such kind of disciplinary actions may be taken by the speaker so as to preserve the dignity of the house. Okay. The next most important thing is casting vote. What is casting vote? You need to understand. It's very important. Casting vote means, I have earlier discussed that when a bill is being passed, okay, for example, there is a bill called A. So that particular bill is being passed. So there are nearly 120 members in the house present, and they need to vote on this particular bill A. So when 120 members are voting on a particular bill A, 60 members have voted against that particular bill, and 60 members have voted supporting that particular bill. So at that particular time there is no majority. Then what the issue is, whether the bill is passed or not, it has to be decided by the speaker. How the speaker will decide? At this particular time, when there is a tie between voting, then speaker will cast her or his own vote to decide whether the bill is passed or not. If the speaker wants to support the bill, then 60 plus 1, 61 members are supporting the bill, and 60 are opposing the bill. That means the bill is passed. If the speaker has voted against the bill, that means the bill will not be passed. So such a kind of vote, when there is equal votes for a bill, so as to decide the fate of the bill, when speaker gives her own vote, that particular vote is called casting vote. This particular time is very much important. Then speaker controls the quorum, the discussions going on in the session or the house, and the objections that are being brought by the members of the Lok Sabha regarding the work of the government. So all these things are controlled by speaker only. Speaker's position independence, his salary and allowances are fixed by the parliament by law only. That means no party or no government can make changes in the salary and allowances that are being given to speaker so as to provide disadvantage to the speaker. So no such kind of no such kind of actions may be taken by any party or government. It has to be fixed by the parliament by law only, and it is charged from consolidated fund of India and are not subjected to annual vote of parliament. Remember, they are not subjected to annual vote of parliament. That means the salary which is the salary and allowances which are being given to speaker, they cannot be changed frequently. That's why there is no annual vote of parliament. Okay. Then his work and conduct cannot be discussed and criticized in Lok Sabha except while substantive motion is there. That means when a Lok Sabha session is going on, then no person can criticize the work of speaker, and no person can criticize and discuss about the work done by the speaker. It is not correct. Okay, that is a particular law. So when such a provision is given, that particular provision is saying that he will act impartial. That's why nobody can criticize, and her or his position, who is sitting in the position of speaker, is independence. That's why nobody can criticize that particular position. But yes, that particular position can be discussed, or the work of a speaker can be discussed and criticized under only one instance. That is when a substantive motion is there. Substantive motion means when there is a resolution passed against the speaker itself so as to remove the speaker because of the acts done by speaker. So when such a substantive motion is there, during that particular time only the conduct and work of speaker can be discussed and criticized in Lok Sabha. And the speaker cannot be removed from the office except a resolution is passed by effective majority. We have discussed earlier. So that's all about speaker, and I have explained all the important issues regarding speaker. If you watch this video once, you can remember all the things and you can revise all the important information about speaker. So in the next video, we'll be discussing about the powers and functions of the chairman of Rajya Sabha and what kind of other provisions are there regarding the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Thank you.